And again, that's just another form of mass surveillance. So now they even want to tie the Windows activation to the hardware ID, which maybe they have their own number for that, but essentially it's tied to like the universal unique identifier for various hardware components, right? Now, there's a piece of software I bought about 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago, that was basically like that. So, like, like if you changed your graphics card or network adapter or some major hardware change, like I would actually have to email the guy to, renew my license. And it was just a one time thing. I think it was only like $15 or whatever. Nowadays it's actually free. But a one time payment of $15 just to be able to do some, video encoding nerd shit. Well, the thing is, it was some random dude. I was paying him directly. He was generating the keys directly. And fundamentally, that information dies with him, right? He might not even have it anymore because he made the shit free. So he could have threw that shit away for all I know. Okay, well, the thing is, if Windows is storing that activation in a database that's based off of universal unique identifiers on actual physical components, well, now they have a way to connect that specific, not even the version of the motherboard, right? Like Asus, K8N, Enforce 3 250 motherboard or fucking whatever, like I had, over 20 years ago. It's not just the model number, it's the specific exact board that you got when you bought it. Now that's tied to your IP address, and so essentially your location and your identity, because remember, they want you to sign up an account with your real fucking name and all that permanently. Hi, I'm NG Resonance. Yeah. Hi, I'm Cortana, right? Yeah. They always have to give it a bitch name, right? Make it sound softer and more inviting, right? And it's just a mass surveillance thing. It's such a fucking prison reality. I sort of mentioned Hitman, Blood Money in passing recently. So naturally, I started getting recommended that on YouTube. Even though I search videos in a different browser than the one I'm logged in to make comments on. And I didn't even look up any videos on it. I just mentioned it in one of my own. Hadn't even searched anything related to it, getting it in my recommendeds because, again, they generate their little transcript of what you said. And it's tied, again, browser fingerprinting, even though they're different browsers, they're both on the same IP address, right? But yeah, there's several recurrences of that in Blood Money, the whole femme fatale thing. Yeah, I love how they always want to do that. It's almost never a dude name, right? It's Cortana or NG Resonance or some bitch where you might want to jack off thinking about her tits or something, right? And now they got AI porn, right? That I mentioned it in the first part of this, but one site I was looking at after the first few pages, there was like 15 fucking pages of like computer graphics, and they call it AI generated. God, like I said, the fucking porn can't even be real anymore. I've made my own porn before, and I don't know. I might literally just, I've got mostly the same porn videos I've had for anywhere from 5 to 15 years at this point, plus the videos I actually made, like that I recorded, so I know they're real. But yeah, who knew that over 20 years ago you would have this realistic looking holographic bitch that every dude would want to pour their heart out to, and is just, basically an informant, um, and become, you know, AI porn chatbots, and like it wasn't parasocial enough Now you can't even listen to the video on YouTube and be pausing it occasionally to respond as if you were talking to them, right? No, now you can't even watch porn of two real motherfuckers, right? Like it's not bad enough that these bitches can't just sit there saying whatever weird shit to the camera. Like not even a dick present, or maybe it's a dildo, right? Like literally, it is so easy for them to make money off this shit. And now, you know, some dude like me can just be a fucking AI, pretending to be a bitch VTuber or whatever, and it's just fucking ridiculous. Like there really is no hope for this planet. But just the way it all ties together with the weaponization of sex and the fear of loneliness. I don't even know what to fucking say anymore. And you just look for escapism, and I mean that's fucking my voice is better than I really thought it would be, because I was beyond pissed. It's like, holy fuck, just let me play a fucking video game, motherfucker, right? And then the internet, and it's like, because I'm like sitting there trying to look up, because when I play Deus Ex, like right now I'm playing the original, and I mean, in my personal opinion, I overall prefer the aesthetic and the feel of Invisible War, but I'm more than capable of acknowledging objectively the original is the better game. Um, I would like to get another PS2 and get the PS2 version called The Conspiracy. It's Deus Ex The Conspiracy. That's the name of the PS2 version. You can look up kind of gameplay videos online, or like comparison, like long plays, or even comparisons to PC. And I played that game one time when I was 11. Like I must have got it at Blockbuster or whatever, right? Like rented it. I don't even actually know. I'm pretty sure I beat it, but maybe a formative experience for me. MGS2 and Deus Ex, Red Faction even, and even Half-Life. The whole government terrorism aspect of that game. Yeah, kind of heavy shit for an 11-year-old, right? I just wish I had listened, but I don't know. I kind of wish I could go back to that. I think that all the time, right? And dude, like I don't even want 20 years ago. It's like just give me 10 years ago, right? But I don't know. Either way, for the time being, I'm replaying the original, because it is easier to get into the way the original the way Invisible War works. One of the reasons the game gets shit on a lot is how poorly it runs. But the thing is, I trailed off of this on one of the last ones in this kind of series, but my point is that yeah, it did perform kind of shitty when it was new, but because the technology it was using was new, and I mean, fuck, Doom 3 didn't run well either, right? Half-Life 2 didn't fucking run well. But the main reason it gets shit on today is really just due to the differences with modern symmetric multiprocessing, um, and multi-threading, and just how operating systems and CPUs differ on their task scheduling. So whenever you see this myth that Deus Ex Invisible War loads the new level by crashing itself, and then it's like, no, dude, that is just a figment of how modern CPUs and operating systems work. It did not do that on XP. You know why? Because on XP you were running a single core CPU, probably, unless you're a baller and had hyper threading or whatever. But you're running essentially a single core CPU on an OS designed for single core, for a game that was designed with hardware and software features modern to the time. The feature set was different, and so it functioned differently. And remember, ever since At least Windows 7, probably Vista. 7 was basically built off of Vista. I didn't use Vista, so I can't say exactly, but since at the very least 7, most of these older games were already essentially emulated by the OS, right? Like SysWow 32 and SysWow 64 or whatever. And a lot of the problems with the game are really modern interpretations based off of how a game older than probably most of the motherfuckers that have ever played it at this point runs on modern hardware. I know for a fact it doesn't do it on Windows 11, even Windows 7. You will actually get a list of old tasks in the taskbar because it crashes, but because it spawns off a new working thread or whatever, it wasn't designed with that, and so the old ones stay around. So you'll have to go through and click out all the old windows that are not responding because they're not being used anymore. It didn't happen like that on XP, but a similar thing was like that with Half-Life Source. Before the 2013 Steam Pipe update, Half-Life Source was great. It didn't have none of the problems that when people review it now, it's like I can tell this is somebody that played it for the first time after Steam Pipe. Again, they're probably, I've had the game on Steam probably longer than they've been alive. My Steam account is, God, what is it, 22 years old or what? I don't know. I got it in 2004. And, when you see people review it now, you see a review of how the game is right now. You don't see anybody compare it to what it was. Well, here's how it was when I played it 20 years ago. And I might do videos like that at some point in the future. I don't know, but that's kind of tying into what I was talking about with the digital book burning shit. There's no real easy way to just compare them. And it's like, for fuck's sake, Valve, Steam, of all motherfuckers, have the utmost capability to do this. Like, I mean, are they so retarded they don't version their shit on their end? Like, they're like with these updates, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to go through their like beta branch, whatever bullshit kind of options thing, and pick, I want to play what Half-Life Source was on this motherfucking day. On if there was more than one revision that day, this one right here. Maybe there is a way to do that, and I'm just too stupid to know about it. I don't know. But that's another part. Again, you don't have to burn a book that, never gets written. Well, there's no point to burning a book if you just never allow it to be read in the first place, right? And so part of that, the censorship aspect of, the modern Orwellian dystopia is these search engines being made useless on purpose, right? Again, I first used Google in 2004, and I started using the internet in 2003. So I remember using Ask Jeeves and Alta Vista, and I actually have not only a memory of how Google used to be, but a basis of comparison to other shit. Like, modern search engines are so user hostile, you have to basically try to trick it into giving you the results you're looking for. And finding stuff is such a disaster. And I'm even today, trying to look up answers and shit. I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, this is an answer. This is a problem that would have been solved within 5 minutes. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago. But modern search engines are not really search engines. They're advertisement engines. So just like dating apps don't let you see anybody you would be interested in, it's so you spend more time on it so you see more ads. Because the reality is, most users actually don't use ad blockers. If you use ad blockers, you're a rarity when it comes to the software realm.